Hello, my name is Fox, and I'm a historian who's written a book on Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes, the rides at Disneyland. And I can explain to you very quickly why this thing that everyone's upset with right now, Projector McProjecty-Face, I can explain why it's complete nonsense. So let us begin with a premise, a concept. My beginning premise is that Pirates of the Caribbean, the ride, is based on a fictionalized version of American history. We're using capital American, not United States, American history. Is not based on the Pirates of the Caribbean film franchise, which had predated by about 30 years. Pirates were genuine historical criminals, and they were at the height of their success and fame in the early 1700s. Captain Kidd's voyage began in 1695. Blackbeard was killed in the Carolinas in about 1718, and the first real book on piracy was published in 1724. So all of this is really taking place as a historical backdrop to conflicts in Europe, and it all predated the American Revolution by about 75 years. All of this means that we can say that when you travel back in time on Pirates of the Caribbean in the ride, you're landing in, say, 1712 in Puerto Rico. This is about the right time and about the right location to see a group of pirates, largely English, Scots, and Irish, looting a Spanish seaport. This is actually a thing that really happened. Okay, so when does New Orleans Square take place? Can we date that? Alright, well, Louisiana joined the Union in 1803 as part of the Louisiana Purchase, and it was granted statehood in 1812. Part of the reason why New Orleans is grouped in with Frontierland in the first place is because New Orleans was literally considered to be the jewel of the West back when the United States officially ended around the Mississippi River. Or we could look at Lafitte's Landing. Jean Lafitte was a smuggler operating in the waters south of New Orleans in the early 19th century. He famously participated in the Battle of New Orleans in 1812 to help expel the British. Jean Lafitte was a pirate in the same sense that John Wayne was a cowboy. He was like 100 years too late, but Jean Lafitte was perhaps the first person in history to be called a pirate in a complimentary sense. When we ride Pirates of the Caribbean, we go through the Blue Bayou and we drift by a shack in the bayou, and inside we hear someone playing a banjo, and they're playing Camptown Races. Camptown Races was published in 1850. Therefore, we can reasonably infer that New Orleans Square nebulously takes place sometime between 1850 and, let's say, 1860. It is non-specifically Old New Orleans. Most of the architecture is pre-American Civil War, most notably shown on the Haunted Mansion. The Haunted Mansion is a Greek revival building. It's sometimes called an antebellum building. Antebellum literally means before the war. So following the existing logic of the attraction, we are supposed to think of ourselves as traveling through these caverns sometime in like the 1850s, 1860s. It's contemporary with New Orleans Square up above it. That's why all the pirates are dead, is that the golden age of piracy was like over 100 years before, and we're stumbling across this forgotten hideout. The bleached bones of the pirates have been long forgotten by the world above. And then we come across the treasured cache, and it's cursed, and that sends us further back in time to the golden age of piracy. There is narration explicitly telling you this in the attraction. And so that's why Projector McProjecty-Face is obviously out of place. His dress is completely wrong, his time period is completely wrong, and he visibly contradicts the scenes that come before and after him. You know, it's clear to me that the original designers of Pirates of the Caribbean did put a lot of thought into what everything into it means. The designers of this figure are just making something cool. It's completely meaningless in the context of the ride. Like, yeah, it would be cool if there was an animatronic Christopher Walken eating ice cream in the ice cream parlor on Main Street, but what does it mean? And in the event that you guys still think I'm being unnecessarily harsh on this, I'd like to point out that even if we throw up our hands and say that the attraction takes place in the Pirates of the Caribbean cinematic universe, it still makes no sense. The whole point of the treasure scene is that the treasure is cursed, and that's what sends you back in time. Now, the curse of the treasure in Curse the Black Pearl doesn't randomly turn you into an inanimate skeleton. It turns you into a living skeleton that's only visible when the moonlight strikes you. Like, there's no moon. What's going on with this guy has absolutely nothing to do with either the logic of the attraction or the established narrative of the movies. It's just complete nonsense. It's nonsense that has nothing to do with anything. When you watch a video with Disney, you hear them using the word
story. Story is a story.
all the time. And it is clear when you watch these that Disney has managed to turn this concept into a meaningless corporate buzzword. When you listen to these people talk, it's obvious that they're using the word story that a place like Google might use the term value add. It means nothing. And when you look at their output, both this and other recent projects, it's evident that they do not understand the stories that their attractions are already telling. And when I sit there and watch these videos and all I hear is these people saying the word
Story. Story. Story.
I can't help but wonder if this affliction will prove to be fatal. If you want to know more about Pirates of the Caribbean than the designers of Projector McProjectyface ever will, read my book. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.